Hello Len, how are you guys? Mr. Executive, the unemployed expert is my name. Thank you so much for following us up to this far. And I would like to appreciate all the returning subscribers, the returning learners, our consistent learners. You always give me power. Let's share, let's comment, let's like. So in this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to handle algebraic fractions that involve letters. But before that, make sure you go through the tutorial or the tutorials that have to do with factorization, because in this topic you will be also employing the skills that I was presenting in the tutorials that have to do with factorization. So please check with the previous tutorials of factorization before you go through this tutorial of algebraic fractions, unless if you did so, unless if you are clear and good with factorization, then let's get into it. So algebraic fractions, they are very simple. The same way we handle common fractions is the same way that we'll be using to handle algebraic fractions. So let's recap by starting to go through. Let's start by going through common fractions. For instance, we have 2/3 plus 4/5. This is a common fraction. It's not an algebraic fraction, it's a common fraction. But the skill that we use, that we are going to use to handle this situation, is the same skill that we'll be using when handling algebraic fractions. By algebraic fractions, I mean we might have a situation like this. 2/m plus 3 plus 4/m plus 5. This is a common fraction, this is an algebraic fraction. The same skill that we are going to use here is the same skill that we'll be using here. Remember, the first thing, you find a common factor. You find a common denominator. Common denominator for 3 and 5 is 15. In this case, 15, we found 15 through multiplying 3 by 5. 3 times 5 we get 15. So the same applies here. The common denominator for m plus 3 and m plus 5, you multiply both denominators. And the multiplication is very simple. You just put every denominator in its own bracket like this. M plus 3 and m plus 5. That's the common denominator. You will not go any further to expand these brackets. Then in this one, we say 3 into 15, 5. That 5 multiply the numerator of 3, which is 2. 5 into 15, we get 3. And the 3 will be multiplying by 4. Now look, numerator 2 is multiplying by the denominator from the opposite side. 2 and 5 are multiplying. Then on the other side, numerator 4 is multiplying by the opposite denominator, 4 and 3, this one. So which means you can borrow the same skill. These 2 will multiply by the opposite denominator like this. You take 2, this all over is representing a bracket. So you open a bracket and present m plus 5. Then you take plus. The other numerator 4 will be multiplying the opposite denominator. So it becomes m plus 3. Then in this common fraction, the next stage is we are removing brackets. 5 times 2, we get 10, plus 3 times 4, we get 12, 4/15. So the same applies here. You will be removing brackets. There's no any change that will be effected on the denominator. Right, so now we are proceeding with removing brackets on the numerator. The denominator will remain m plus 3, m plus 5. So now it's 2 times m, we get 2m, 2 times 5, we get 10, 4 times m, we get 4m, and 4 times 3, we get 12. Then the last step, we are going to group like terms. M plus 3, m plus 5. The denominator will remain like this. Now let's group like terms on the numerator. 2m and plus 4m. Then plus 10 and plus 12. Like this. Then finally, 2m plus 4m, we get 6m. 10 plus 12, we get 22. And the denominator will remain m plus 3, m plus minus 5. This is how we add and subtract algebraic fractions. Anyways, let me present one more example. So addition and subtraction is very simple. Is that, let's say if number b 4 o over p minus 2 minus 3 o over p plus 1. We want to subtract this algebraic fraction. So the first thing, you find the common denominator. In the common denominator, just take these two denominators, each in its own bracket, like this. These are common denominator. Just take the given denominators there, then you present them in brackets. After that, now remember the numerator. This numerator will take the opposite denominator, that is 4 open bracket p plus 1 minus 3, taking the other denominator p minus 2. Then after that, we are removing brackets. The denominator will remain like this, p minus 2 p plus 1. So let's remove brackets on the numerator. 4 times p, 4p. 4 times 1, we get 4, minus 3 times p, we get minus 3p. Remember that technique, minus, when we have a negative sign outside brackets, the sign inside brackets will change, because it's minus 3 times minus 2, we get a plus 6. Always take note of this, minus and minus get a positive. Alright, so now let's group the like terms. That is 4p and minus 3p plus 4 plus 6. When grouping like terms, a number is grouped with its sign. The denominator will remain p minus 2, p plus 1. Then the final answer is 4p minus 3p, we get 1p. Then 4 plus 6, we get positive 10. 4 over p minus 2, p plus 1. That's all about addition, subtraction of algebraic fractions, as simple as that. Now let's talk about multiplication and division of algebraic fractions, especially this one. Always, please, I beg, check with the tutorials based on factorization first, because we'll be using skills that we learned in factorization to handle division and multiplication of algebraic fractions. Here are some of the examples that we are going to go through, examples that have to do with multiplication and division of algebraic fractions. So let's start with example number A, and will be like this. Alright, we have this problem. 3x squared over x squared minus 5x divided by x over x squared minus 25. Right. So what you do is, remember, in common fractions, we learned that 4 over 5 divided by 2 over 3. First thing, you introduce multiplication here. Then you invert the term on the right hand side, that is 3 over 2. So we are borrowing the same skill, meaning to say, from this stage we are going to say 3x squared all over x squared minus 5x times, we introduce multiplication. Then we are going to invert the numerator, the term on the right hand side, that is, it becomes x squared minus 25 all over x. After this stage, it is incorrect to reduce or divide x into x into y. First thing, you must factorize all the terms. After factorization, you cancel similar brackets. So in this case, the numerator will remain 3x, or you can say 3x squared is 3 times x. Then the denominator, we need to factorize. This is not a difference of two squares, because 5 and x have no whole number or integer squares. So I'm going to factorize x into x squared, you get x, minus x into x, will get 5, like this, multiplied by, as for the numerator, this one, x squared has got a perfect, is a square 25 is also a square, meaning to say this is the difference of two squares we were talking about in the tutorial of factorization. So in this case, we are opening two brackets of square roots. That's how we end the difference of two squares over x. Now, after we're done with the factorization, we need to cancel similar brackets. X minus 5 and x minus 5 can cancel to give us 1, like this. We get 1. This x cannot divide by an x inside the brackets, but it can reduce with another x which is not inside brackets. Again, with another x here, which can divide by this x. After all this, let's collect the terms that remained. As for the denominators, we have 1, 1, 1, mean to say there's no more any denominator. But for the numerators, we have 3 times 1 times this bracket. So the final answer is 3 and the bracket of x plus 5. That's how you divide algebraic fractions. We can have one more example. Let's enjoy this thing, guys. Let's enjoy together. In high school, they used to say maths represents, and it's an abbreviation which stands for mentally affected teachers harassing students. So we harassed enough to an extent that now we can harass you too. Maths is very simple, guys. Let's enjoy the world of numbers, the world of skills, so that our brain, our mind will be very open. Let's have this example number B. X squared minus y squared all over x squared plus xy divided by 2y minus 2x all over xy. Again, this is division of algebraic fractions. So the first thing we are going to invert and introduce multiplication. X squared minus y squared over x squared plus xy. Then we multiply xy over 2y minus 2x. Before we rush to cancel terms, start by factorizing. So I'm going to factorize. The first one is the difference of two squares. So it's x minus y, x plus y. Over, in this case, the common factor is x. X into x squared, we have x. X into x, we get y. It's very clear, this is not a difference of two squares. They are not even subtracting. And some of the terms are not perfect squares. Multiplied by xy over, in this situation, 2 is a common factor. So 2 into 2 we get y, 2 into 2 we get x. Alright, let's cancel out similar brackets. X plus y and x plus y, they are similar, so they can cancel to give us 1. This x outside brackets can reduce by this x. How about these two brackets? X minus y, y minus x. Are they similar? We have a positive x, yet here we have a negative x. We have a negative y, we have a positive y. So these brackets are not similar, get me right. But they can cancel. But how? We say y minus x into y minus xy. Then as for the numerator, you get a negative y. That's the difference. When they vary in terms of their signs, you divide, but you get a numerator negative y. So now let's collect the terms that remained. As for the numerators, we have minus 1 times y. So finally we have minus y over. As for the denominators, 1, 1, we are left with the 2. So the final answer is minus y over 2. As simple as that. One last example. We have x squared plus 7x plus 6 all over x squared minus 36. This is again division of algebraic fractions. In this case, we are now familiar with the numerator. This one is a quadratic expression, and this one is the difference of two squares. So we must have skills on how to factorize quadratic expressions, how to factorize the difference of two squares. So let's start by factorizing the numerator. X squared plus 7x plus 6. You multiply first and last digit to get 6x squared. The factors of 6x are 1x and 6x, 2x and 3x. The mid value is a positive, so bigger numbers are given positive. So now 1 times 6, we get positive 6, we are done. Which group will give us 7? This one. So now it's x squared plus 1x plus 6x plus 6. Then we factorize, common factor is x, we get x plus 1 plus 6, 6 into 6, we get x plus 1. And the final presentation is x plus 6 in their own bracket, then x plus 1 in their own bracket. This is our numerator. Then as for the denominator, this one, it's a difference of two squares we have in two brackets, x minus 6 and x plus 6. So let's start over now. The numerator is x plus 6, x plus 1. This is our numerator. Then the denominator is x minus 6, x plus 6. Similar brackets will cancel, then we collect the terms that will remain. In this case, we have x plus 6 into x plus 6, 1. X plus 6 into x plus 6, we get 1. So finally, the terms that remain are x plus 1 is our numerator. Then the denominator, x minus 6 is the final answer. That's how you handle division, multiplication of algebraic fractions. Kindly like, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for helping me to grow my channel. We are going to take this thing, guys, to the global village. Even if you are in Miami, you are in Washington DC, you are in Zimbabwe. Here in Zimbabwe, we are okay. Maybe you are in Nigeria, in Ghana. Anywhere you are, let's learn mathematics and grow together. Thank you for liking, sharing. Good.